Hi everyone, welcome to GM Chess channel. In this video, I would like to talk about how to handle a game against a lesser rated opponent. This is a problem that I think many players have about not feeling very comfortable when they're playing a lower rated opponent. This is starting from a grandmaster level to as low as like 1800 level players as well. They have issues when they are playing against lower rated. Everyone feels very comfortable against higher rated player because you know that okay, your opponent is much stronger than you, and a loss doesn't mean anything because anyway your opponent is stronger, and a draw already feels like a significant achievement, and a win would yield you like lots and lots of rating points. So these are the things that mainly people think about when they are playing a game against higher rated opponents. But on the other hand, when you're playing a low rated, it doesn't feel the same because you know that the resistance is going to be there anyways. You're not going to get an easy win, but a win doesn't really yield you much rating points, or I mean, you don't feel very happy when you get a win against low rated. It automatically feels like, you know what, I'm anyway expected to do this, so it doesn't feel like an achievement. On the other hand, a draw almost feels like a loss, and you end up losing the game. Obviously, you're going to lose tons of rating points, which is what is going on in your head when you are playing a lower rated opponent, and that is where the pressure basically starts building. Well, in this video, I'm not going to talk about any practical approach, or this is the approach, this is the correct way to play a game against lower rated, nothing like that. But I just want to talk about the correct attitude that one should have when they're playing a lower rated opponent. But to begin with, I want to show a practical example that was from my own game. And this is a position I had when I was a grandmaster already. I'm playing this in a tournament in Netherlands. My opponent was like close to 400, 500 points lesser rating than me. And after a very poor play from my side in the opening stage, my opponent pretty much very easily equalized the game, and I basically didn't have any advantage coming out. And in this position with a5, my opponent's breaking down the pawn chain on the queen side, and more or less I'm expected to go b5 and rook f8 and all natural moves. And I think any rook c2 or something, like I think after a few moves a draw should be a natural result. I don't think there's anything much going on, but okay, certainly like the game is still going on. That's it. Like maybe I might get some chances later, but it doesn't matter. But instead, um, out of frustration, I took the pawn on a5, which is an unbelievable move. Even today, when I look at this, like I used to wonder, like, will even a 1000 rated player do this? Because it's very easy to understand that b5, rook a5 allows black's rook to get active, and the a2 pawn, the c4 pawn, everything becomes target and just another. I mean, they are like clearly exposed right now. And after taking this, I still like I'm like trying to beat my opponent, like just hoping that some activity will come in here, and well, nothing really came in. And after a few moves, after a few natural moves from both sides, um, I was like hoping for a draw at this point. I think this happens in many of our games when you're playing the lower rated. You make such a decision, and suddenly after a while, like there is no turning back, and you're like more than happy with the draw, and you have to sit down and fight for a draw. This has happened in a few occasions for me as well, but my opponent was out of respect uh, repeated the moves, and I think we agreed to a draw around this point. But the position was terrible for me, and it was already a big escape. But my thought process was, what made me exactly take on a5? Well, in my defense, this was a double round tournament, and in the morning game, I ended up losing against a 2400 player, like, and I am was like 100 points lesser than me, so I was already like little upset about that, and I'm like showing that in this game as well. Well, after finishing the tournament, after coming back after a long trip, when I sat down to analyze all my mistakes, I was like shocked to realize that I played b takes a5 in this position because it's such a ridiculous move. But again, this was something not just thing that was affecting my game in this specific position. Like otherwise, like I don't think anyone will play b takes a5 knowing the activity of the rook on a8. So I think what advice I would give is, in general, when you're playing a lower rated opponent. Okay, assume that it's not, I mean, number one, like it's not going to be an easy game, no matter who your opponent is. Obviously, your opponent is going to fight out, and you have to play a good game. Only then you can end up winning the game. Just because you're a stronger player, the position won't win automatically by itself. You have to play good moves. So instead of focusing on the rating points or the lower rated opponent, focus on good moves. Only with good moves you can end up winning the game, no matter who your opponent is. Like, okay, assuming that they are reasonable players, they won't lose the game right there. You have to play the correct chess. Only then you can win. And other thing is, like, you don't have to assume that you definitely have to win the game no matter like because your opponent is rated. It's not like that. Jonathan Rosen once told me, like, if your opponent is minus 200 rated or plus 200 rated, I think a win or a draw or even a loss, I think is on a given day, it's possible, very much possible. Like a rated player who's like minus 200 points lesser than you is capable of beating you. Likewise, anyone who's like around like plus 200 rated, you're also capable of beating them. So I think this was a very interesting piece of advice, and what I would, in the later part, what I understood was, it doesn't matter whether you're a stronger player or a weaker player, as long as the position supports, you can end up playing for a win, and only then you should play for a win. If the position doesn't have anything, just because you want to win, the position won't win by itself. Like, you may be a stronger player, but you need to have the right position. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're like the world champion, but the position is not supporting, the position is bad. Like, yeah, things are going to be difficult. It doesn't matter. Just because you want to win, it will not win automatically. So instead of focusing on these things, try focusing on producing good moves, good games. So that should really help. And if your opponent is playing a really good game and he's done very well and you tried your best, it's okay. I think a draw is a reasonable result. It's okay. There is nothing wrong about it. I think if you have this attitude, like, basically the fear is gone. It's okay. You try your best. You give 100%. There is no doubt about that. You have to play for a win. You definitely have to give everything that you can. All good. But if your opponent has still resisted, if your opponent has done very well, I think it's okay. On a good day, on his best day, I think he deserves to get a draw. There's nothing wrong about it. So you keep this attitude, and please don't make moves like BA5 just because you're a stronger player. You won't end up winning the game by itself. So this is I thought this should be a very interesting piece of advice for many players. And don't just because of your psychological feeling, don't let those feelings make your decisions in chess. That usually doesn't come out very well. So I think this should be useful for many players, I guess, and I'll see you all in another video then.